In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Wow, BASSLINE International.
You are listening to BASSLINE International, the girl sound system, doing it.
Well, man, this is rock up to the time. BASSLINE sound. Somewhere going to my bad man, oh mercy. This is none other than a big mighty BASSLINE. BASSLINE, always on the grind. No boy can't take the shine. Big up BASSLINE International Movement. MixUpRadio.com.
Let the show begin.
I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. From the very first time I placed my eyes on you, girl, my heart says follow through. But I know now that I'm way down on your line. But the waiting feel is fine. So don't treat me like a puppet.
Sure, 1, 2, 3.
Cause I know how to do my thing. Don't talk to me as if you think I'm dumb. I wanna know when you're gonna come.
Check 1, 2.
I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. I don't wanna wait in vain for your love. Cause it's my dear. I'm still waiting. Don't worry about a thing. Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Really
Yo, also big respect to everybody that's alright on up on the check-in. It's the Mad Youth, Mr. Raga Raga. BASSLINE International, MixUpRadio.com.
Sends my message to you. Singing no worry how to sing. Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
You don't know it already, massive. It's a Thursday afternoon. I was just there, I chill out. You don't know, say, I hope everybody had a good day. It was a nice day to get outside. You know, masked up, gloved up, sanitized up. But remember, some I only need to use soap or water because sanitizer can't substitute that moldy arm. It's all jokes. It's Thursday. Coming up next, we have a very, very, very special guest and a good friend of mine, Dr. Portia Miller, Virginia State's own assistant professor in health and physical education. She's going to give us her views and her expertise
on the difference between weight loss and fat loss, the nutrition in your body, and how to help build your immune system through the whole thing, especially through these crazy times. You don't know what move already. So I want to say big respect to everybody on the check in right now. There's a BASSLINE International. There's a pass through the things, didn't it? Tonight is the thing we call health and nutrition right now. So, but before we get into Miss Portia Miller, I'm going to our next tune. This one out to the late, great Mr. Garnet Silk.
Yo, baby. I love you very
So get your musical hearing gear right now. This is how we do it.
There's nothing.
I'm a New York massive and frontliners. Big respect.
Nothing can divide us. Nothing separates us. Nothing can divide us. No one can stop me from loving you.
This is Garnet Silk.
No one can stop me from loving you. Nothing can divide us. Nothing separates us. Nothing can divide us. No one can stop me from loving you.
On to the voice of the one, Mr. Garnet Silk is smooth. You don't know. Wants big respect. Yo, new generation family. Let me see you, Justin. Big up yourself, my brother. Tonight is the night we're talking about. We're just talking about keeping ourselves healthy because you know this whole COVID-19 got everybody shook. Whether you are on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence, it doesn't matter. What the best way to protect yourself? The best way to protect yourself is to help yourself. You understand? Make sure you get some good nutrition, you're exercising, even if you're not an avid workout person. So before I bring across Miss Portia Miller, Dr. Portia Miller, excuse me, I'm going to play one final Garnet Silk for Bless the Place because in these times, we can't leave out the God out our life still in us. So big man, everybody, mixupradio.com, you're listening in, Facebook Live, big respect. Let's bless the place before we bring the doctor across. Garnet.
Here I come again, Jaja. For your presence be singing. Yeah. Lord, watch over our shoulders tonight and help us live our words tomorrow.
Up next is Miss Dr. Portia Miller, Virginia State. I know they're a little longer than that, but that's for later.
I'm gonna do it. I shouldn't take a grudge and I won't, not even for a minute. Only truth come from my lips. Bless our souls, cause without you we can't make it. Lord, watch over our shoulders tonight and help us live our words tomorrow. Let's not forget where we're from, or the show us the way to go.
As I said, Moses, tonight's not a night about the music only. The music suits your soul, but to get yourself in right and in shape for that music, because you know reggae and soca gets you got to have some energy for that right there. You understand what I'm saying? So, Mr. Garnet Silk, big up yourself. I want to say, do remember, Saturday, don't forget the virtual party right here, mixupradio.com, also on the BASSLINE International's music page. We will be sending that out. Check the flyers on my page and everything like that. But ladies and gentlemen, without further delay and without further ado, I'm going to bring across to you somebody special and dear, true and dear to my heart. You know, she was a pain in my butt growing up, but you know what? We kept each other in line. We kept each other, you know how it goes, high school to now. But I'm proud to bring across to you somebody I watched grow, somebody I watched mature. This person's always been about their game and been on top of their game. So I want to bring across to you my good friend and the assistant professor of health and physical education at Virginia State University. VSU, I love it, I love it, I love it. Dr. Portia Miller, I want to bring across to you to introduce you to the world right now. What up, Portia?
Hey, babe, how you doing? How's it going tonight?
It's going all right. It's going all right. How you doing? How you and the kids?
Oh, we're doing fine. Loving the energy. I said, shoot, the music was going in the beginning. I didn't know if we was doing an interview or having a party tonight.
Well, you know how we do. Like I just told the crowd, we go way back. We go like Moses in the Bible right now. You know what I mean? But I just want to say first off, thanks again for taking the opportunity and the time out of your busy schedule, which we'll get into, to do this interview for us. As I said, thank you for doing it as fam, but also thank you for doing this and helping those people that may want to hear and need to hear what we have to say today. So I'm going to introduce you right now as Doctor. I want to make sure I get that doctor right. People are going to hear me say that a lot because she knows where I live, and I got to be careful, how I treat her. So, but I want to say big respect to you all the time, sweetheart.
Thank you.
So you are the assistant professor of health and physical education at Virginia State University, our alma mater, which was also me and Quick Draw's major.
Okay.
We did NASCOM and health and physical education recreation. So that's an honor to have that. You do that. And, we were in a couple of classes. We'll talk about that later. How does it feel to be able to go back to your alma mater and be an assistant professor or a professor or anybody that helps to go back to your alma mater, and just how does it feel to go back there and be working there now?
As always, first of all, it's a major blessing. Although I've always wanted to be a collegiate level professor, I never really thought about going back to Virginia State University, but being able to come back to the foundation where you were developed and you were introduced to what you do as a passion and a career, and then have them open the doors for you to come back and lead the next generation. Oh, it's definitely a blessing. And my biggest goal is to kind of, set forth the same energy as the professor set for us, and help, kind of guide our kids and get them out where we need to get them to be in the career world. So it's definitely a blessing.
So, because I know you were also teaching at one point, or you were a professor at some point in North Carolina, right? What college was, or what school was that before VSU?
I was at Fayetteville State University.
You was where?
Fayetteville State.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you think about it, basically everything I do is kind of lead up, because before I started at Fayetteville State, remember, I was teaching health and physical education K through 12 for 15 years. So basically, I taught K through 12, did the coaching thing, the personal training, and then basically just moved up to the collegiate level. So basically, I've been in the same field, for 22 years now, just basically transitioning into a new level and just, pursuing it at a different level.
Okay. So now, is there a big difference between the K through 12 and now doing it at the collegiate level? Now, I know the maturity, of course, we all know that, but in your but in your professional opinion, what was the biggest difference with doing that in going from K through 12 to a collegiate level?
Well, in reference to the major itself, health and physical education, you got to remember at the K through 12 level, what we're doing is teaching them the fundamentals that they need to incorporate physical activity and health into their lifestyles. When we get to the collegiate level, now we're actually training them to actually be future professionals and teaching them the strategies that they need to implement in order to actually help other people change their lives. So we're teaching the same content, but now we're teaching it at a more advanced level. And now we're teaching it from the perspective of them learning to be professionals and stepping out into the world and actually start to lead that next generation.
Okay. All right. Now, which one do you find more challenging? The kids or the big kids?
Now, I'm going to be honest with you, with my teaching style, none of them.
What do you mean?
No, don't do that.
The world right now, Portia Miller, I love her like Jesus loved little children. I could say that in front of her. But Portia, you always commanded respect when you stepped in a room, whether they liked you or not. So once you put doctor in front of it, hey, listen, don't let me get Quick Draw to jump on here. He'll tell you.
Don't do me like that.
So you feel that you being the persona that we just joked about, you stepping into a room, you keep them kind of in check because kids know or students know, like, yo, don't mess with this one.
Here's my biggest thing. You're right. I'm 100%. I'm strict. I keep my rule. I keep my order. But the one thing my students know is everything that I do is for the benefit of their development. They need to understand stepping out into the world. There's rules. You can't just do what you want to do. You can't show up when you want to show up. Everything you do basically has to have some type of order and consistency. Like one of the things I tell my collegiate level students, you can't lead someone if you've never learned to follow.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, in the next few years, you're going to be somebody's parent. You're going to be educator yourself. You're going to be leading a team. Well, how do you expect somebody to follow you if you have no discipline and structure? You're responsible for what you want in life. So the one thing I do believe in with all students is holding them accountable. but at the same time, it's always that love and respect there. So my students will definitely say, she's tough. She has her expectations for you, but at the same time, it's in a caring fashion. It's no different than the same love that I have for my son or my daughter. I love them to death, but they're gonna have to understand that they got to do some work, and there's some things in life that you're gonna have to put in place in order to achieve what you want.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and you used to keep us in line when we was in school too. I remember me, Ron, and all of us be like, "Ah, here come Portia, chill out."
See, you needed it, though. You needed it. So
now, all right, let's move into the Virginia State aspect of your life. What is it? Just give us a brief day in the life of Dr. Portia Miller at Virginia State University on a normal day when we know COVID-19. Let's say school was still in session. We know the graduations would have just been happening. But what would have been your normal activity?
Oh, okay. Normal day. Once I get the kids out the house and get them on the bus for school, typically, when I'm in the classroom, I teach some of your higher level courses like your kinesiology, the anatomy and research classes. So basically, when I'm in class, it's a combination of, lectures and instruction, and then usually from that standpoint, we'll go out into the field and we'll actually work on some actual hands-on practical activities that will actually kind of, back up everything that we've learned in the classroom. One of the things that I try to do when I work with students is to kind of take away the monotony from the education point and just get away from the lecture and actually get them those hands-on experiences to actually learn how to fundamentally and physically incorporate the practical skills that they're going to be using when they go out.
Okay. So now, are you, since it being the health and phys ed department, are you so you're in direct contact with a lot of the athletes, correct?
Oh yeah. Now let me add. Hold on. Virginia State
it's
is
about
doing
to show off, y'all.
We have
Facebook.com for those of you on the radio right
now. When we were there, it was health and physical education, but now they've actually incorporated the sport management piece as well. So we do have the sport management students as well. So actually with my field, my primary instruction is in health and physical education, but this semester I started teaching a sports psychology course, which crosses over into sport management, which is what I got my doctorate in. So, basically we work along both of those lines. When I got into the field, I actually did my graduate assistantship as an athletic trainer at Virginia State. So I was working directly with the football program and the basketball program, and basically doing a lot of their rehab. I was traveling on the road with them. I was basically doing a lot of their conditioning programs. So basically, I've been across this field in reference to dealing with the students as well as the student athletes.
Okay. And so now, like, what are some, like, I think you already said it, but I'm trying to word it properly. What are some of the differences between, and I think I know this being a former athlete myself, me, quick drawing us used to running track. What are the differences that it's not this? What I'm trying to ask is, it's not the same basis across the levels. Like if you have to help out one of the linebackers on the football team or one of the basketball or small forwards on the basketball team, is there a big difference, or is there like a general, and then you got to go to each athlete's strength and weakness?
What do you mean in reference to nutrition or in reference to rehab?
Both, actually. Let's start with nutrition.
Well, in reference to nutrition, basically, you have to remember the amount of calories that an athlete would consume is based on two things. One, whether they were in season versus being out of season. Two, you have to factor in things such as the amount of energy being exerted, the number of workouts. For example, let's say a lineman that was in season, in August, obviously they're going to be practicing 4 to 5 days a week, then at playing on the weekends. 9 times out of 10, his body is going to require an excessive amount of calories or an increase in his calories because of the energy that's being utilized during this time. So his caloric intake may jump up to as much as 3,000 calories a day, where most people will say, wow, this is a lot. But you have to remember, you're looking at a guy 200 and some pounds, practicing 2 times a day in the midst of the heat and then playing all weekend. So basically his body is going to utilize a lot of those calories in order to sustain what he or she is doing during the season. But, flipping that over, let's say at the end of the season, now that the season is over, an athlete's main goal is more or less just trying to maintain the fitness level progress that they've developed during that season. So they're not working out maybe 5 days a week and then playing games on the weekend. So now they need to bring their calorie intake down. They don't need as many calories as they did in season and off season. In that situation, if you're consuming the same amount of calories, but you're not burning the same amount of calories or utilizing them the way you did in season, 9 times out of 10, you're going to wind up gaining weight, which is going to sabotage what you do for next season.
So, like, if looking on your screen right now, we went over this in practice. So your health source of 6 essential nutrients, and we're going to probably come back to this when we also talk about the other part of your life, which is your company, Complete Body Design, that LLC. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that in a second. So now explain, what is it that we're looking at here? The 6 sources of your essential nutrients.
Okay, the 6 sources of essential nutrients are the basic nutrients that our bodies need in order to provide us with the nutrients, provide us with the vitamins and minerals that our body needs to function or to carry out the daily activities that it was designed: growth, reproduction, hair, skin, nail growth, protection of our organs. All of that is basically consumed within us actually consuming a certain amount of foods from each one of those categories. One of the big problems is in today's society, you have so many fad diets where they're actually telling people to eliminate certain nutrients in order to lose weight or get in shape. But the problem with that is once you start to eliminate certain nutrients, let's say the no carb diet, well, carbohydrates is our main source of energy. But when you start eliminating carbohydrates, you may see the scale go down, but you're not necessarily losing body fat. You're losing a lot of water weight, but at the same time, you're risking your level of energy and the nutrients that come from that particular category. So one of the things that I do with working with people is teaching them how to create meal plans or diets from utilizing all of the essential nutrients to get a well-balanced diet, but at the same time, while they're losing weight and getting the outcome that they want from a physical standpoint.
Okay. So, and we're going to elaborate on that a little bit more. What we're going to do right now, we're going to take a little break, give you a little time to get some water, and probably cuss me out off air and stuff like that. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about your company. That's Complete Body Design LLC. And I always add the LLC. I want people to know my girl stepped up her game. So when we come back, we'll talk about that. This is BASSLINE International. This is what we call the Mix Up Radio Show. And you already know how we do it up here. We're on with Dr. Portia Miller right now. So what we're going to do, take a break, listen to a couple berries, come back, and we're going to talk to Miss Portia Miller.
Those days, yeah. Remember the songs used to make you rock away. Those were the days when love used to reign. Yeah. We danced all night to the songs they played. We can come again, do it just the same. Yeah. Now I feel it in my heart. In such a golden time at the party. Now there's hardly any safe place left to go. Someone's bound to go.
This is the BASSLINE International.
Remember the songs used to make you rock away. Those were the days when love used to reign.
As I said, this is the BASSLINE International. We're on with Miss Dr. Portia Miller. But right now, this is a break we're taking right now. So for all of you on a Thursday afternoon, it's Throwback Thursday. Big up on the soul.
Just come on. Anyway, you have a dance up. I'm a pull up the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Lift it up, chuck it up, pull it up, come again. Can you play some more? Can you play some more? Without the dance hall, and when we woulda do reggae music call, you must answer to why no, don't fuck. When you get sweet reggae, hold your mouth and there is a man of the tell them today. Without the dance hall, when we woulda do reggae music call, you must answer to why no, don't fuck. When you get sweet reggae, hold your mouth and there is a man of the tell them today.
This is the BASSLINE International, on with Miss Dr. Portia Miller of Virginia State University, talking about our health and wealth. Let's go.
Pull up the vibes that you're playing. Can you play some more? Can you play some more?
Easy squeeze. We're going to squeeze one more, and then we're going to bring back Miss Portia Miller to talk about total mind body experience. Barris.
I'd like to tell you a story about.
Do remember Saturday night, the virtual party, New Generation Family and the BASSLINE International. On the BASSLINE International music page, just check it out. Check out our Facebook page and our flyers, you'll see them.
What it is that I've got. And she whispered was so nice, so nice. But her man is
hey Ingrid, we see you. Oh, Western House crew on the check-in. Camille, I see you. Large up.
Things I say.
Johnny's, pick up yourself. One Love Catering. Do remember tomorrow's one special for One Love Catering. Curry chicken and white rice with a vegetable on the side. Also, we have some sides. Beef patty and cocoa bread. We are Jamaican, you know what I mean. Also, desserts is on sale. Check the flyer on my page.
More than ready to make the move with me anytime. Not even thinking of the consequences. Oh, no. So I had to think quickly. Cause her man, his face was looking oh so mean. As if any time he could create a scene. So gently I pushed her away.
He wants to spoil the play. So wants a big respect, Massive and crew. This is the BASSLINE International, and we're on mixupradio.com. But today is about your health, your wealth, and your nutrition. You know what I mean? Because without health and without your strength, you're not going to have anything right now. So we do have Miss Dr. Portia Miller coming up right soon. You understand?
Now I understand how he feels, but I wish you'd give me a little room. I know he's got himself a raw deal, but I'd like to live with this lady soon. I didn't mean to be so unkind, but I had more than two and one was looking fine. Big spender he was, had to have his own way.
Oh, kid, Massive. That was Mr. Barry Zaman. We're back with you right now. Dr. Portia Miller on the line. Hey, Doc. How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Back here just vibing.
You over there dancing and everything. We ain't got time for all that right now.
I need you to make me, you're gonna have to make me a CD or whatever when this is over.
Yeah, so quick draw, you heard that? Portia said she needed you to make her a CD.
We don't use CDs anymore, but okay.
Or some kind of mix and send it to her.
Thank you. I'm gonna be looking for that one.
Yep. I'm putting him under the bus. But right now, while we still have you online and we know how things go, once again, everyone, thank you. We are joined here by Dr. Portia Miller, Assistant Professor of Health and Physical Education of Virginia State University, the HBCU Heart. You know what I mean? So right now, Portia, the logo that's in between us, it's called Total Mind Body Experience. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you have your own company, and once again, congratulations on that. I'm proud of you, my sister. You know, we joke a lot, and but the one thing throughout our life is I noticed no matter throughout the jokes, we always push each other, and we always made sure we wasn't looking stupid in these streets, you know, hemmed each other up when we needed to. So I want to say thank you for that. And that's my segue into the total mind body experience, because you need an outside force, but now you're going to explain us the inside force and what is the total mind body experience.
Okay, well, the company's name is actually Complete Body Design, and the total mind body experience is basically what I bring in reference to working with my clients. Most people have the misconception that when we talk about health and fitness, we're only talking about exercising and eating well. Well, when I work with individuals, health and wellness goes a little bit deeper than that. We look at the intellectual aspect, we look at the emotional aspect of getting in shape. You know, a lot of people don't understand that a lot of times when people can't achieve their fitness results, or they have a hard time with eating or maintaining certain eating regimens, there's emotional piece that's committed to that or attached to that. We look at the physical aspect, you know, teaching them the right basic protocols of how to get in shape for their body and their genetics. Then at the same point in time, we focus on the eating regimen. So basically what I focus on is what I call the domain, all of the domains of wellness. So when we say the total mind body experience, I'm going to teach you how to be the best version of yourself, not just from the physical fitness aspect, from the emotional aspect, the intellectual aspect, as well as the nutrition. You put it all together. So when you leave me, you know, you don't have just that, oh, I got in shape. Now I leave you with a background of you knowing how to maintain in this new lifestyle once you move forward.
Okay. Now, and that we had hey Ingrid, how you doing? I see you. That's Ingrid from Western. So I just popped that on there because she jumped in. So basically what you're saying with the getting it, let's start with the getting in shape, you know, according to your genetics. Because you know the misconception is I got to get in the gym and I got to look like the dude on the magazine, or I got to look like the dude on the TV that's quote unquote out of shape selling you exercise equipment. You know, bigger people thinking they need to fit into a size 6 when a size 13 is still healthy. It's just a matter of what you're doing. Explain that part. Let's break up that part and say, what do you mean by that?
Okay, when I first started personal training, I would have a lot of women, especially, they would come to me and there would be a segment in our training session where we would sit down and develop goals. I would develop goals based on certain, you know, measurements that I've taken from them, and they would develop goals about things they wanted.
Check. Did we lose her? Experiencing a little technical difficulty here, people. So the machine work. We might have to get her back in a few seconds. So let's do this. I will play some tune right now till we get her back online. You know how this thing work out. It's always something. Always something. So Barris, let's pray. We're on with Dr. Portia Miller, but right now we're experiencing a little technical difficulty. We're going to bring her back real soon. Let's go.
Preparing for Sunday, the Bible in your hand, jolly as you go along, singing redemption songs. Go to church on Sunday, is it just a game, or is it just you identify with the other so-called games? Pray for each and everyone. Pray for the innocent, stop around. Now when you go,
Yeah. Check 1 3 This is Baseline International. Mixupradio.com. We got to take a pause right there because you know how technology is. The more we go into technology, the more pain in the butt it is. But once again, I'm going to bring back across to you my friend that was speaking to us about body genetics, getting in shape according to your own body and stop watching everyone else in the gym. Go according to yourself. Portia, thank you again. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for jumping back on the line. Sorry about that.
No problem.
So let's pick it up from where you were saying that as a woman of your shape, you would get a lot of people. You were saying something about women jumping on and asking you, how do I fit myself into a routine or something?
Yes, what you have to remember is we all have different body frames. You have small frame, you have medium, you have large frame females. You know, a lot of times with women, they pick a random number in reference to what they want to look at as getting in shape. As for that picture that you put up there, if you look at the picture where basically you could tell I started dropping a few pounds, I was down to 195 pounds, but at that point, I was only about 18% body fat, which was very healthy for a woman in my age group because I was in my upper 30s at the time. But if you see, even in getting in shape, I'm still not a petite size female. So realistically, you know, I know when it's time to get in shape. Like if you look at a lot of the medical charts, I'm 5'8". They say for a 5'8" woman, large frame, that I should be 155 pounds. Well, I was 165 pounds when I was in high school playing athletics, but I was never overweight. I'm just a large frame, thicker structured female. Right. So for me to try to reach that 155 is going to be unrealistic and it doesn't look healthy on me. So when I try to lose weight or when I'm getting in shape, I don't really focus so much on the scale. I focus more on the body fat percentage. But I know even when I get down and get my weight down, that the lowest weight that I'll probably be able to go and still look healthy is about 175 pounds. So genetically, I know I don't try to be the size girl that's a 7'8", 5'6". Genetically, I will never be that, no matter how in shape I get. I say the lowest weight that I'll probably get in reference to my clothing is about 11, 12.
Okay.
And the biggest thing that I tell, you know, anybody, especially women, your goal is to be the best version of yourself, not the best version of some false image that doesn't fit genetically who you are.
Yeah, and you know, that's a sentiment I think a lot of women get misconstrued, or they mess it up, or they forget totally about that, because you'll have women, as you said, we joke and we play, you know, but on a serious note, you're a woman, like you said, you were built in high school. You know, you kept that same body weight, but you were never, no one could ever call you fat. We used to run, what's the back in the day word? The big boned, you know what I mean? But no one ever said, oh, Portia's fat. Now we said you had a fat booty. Let's call it.
There you go.
But I mean, but at the point is, no one ever said, oh, she's fat. But then you'll see a girl that, quote unquote, and I'm going to put air quotes here for those that you can only hear me on the radio. We're going to put air quotes here. Those girls that are consider themselves fat, they're round, and they figure, oh, I'm out of shape or I'm unhealthy. Now that goes back to the nutrition. Now, do they have to? And now we do see some transformations, but do they have to, like, oh my God, I need to go into the iron press and make sure I just press out all this fat or get to a healthy person? Is that what you're pointing at?
No, what you got to remember, first of all, there are different types of workouts. Everybody has the misconception that working out is just going to the gym and pumping weights. There are a million different ways to work out. Some people are into the group exercise classes where they're utilizing their body weight. Some people are into the actual lifting weights. Some people are into dance. Some people are into basketball. All of it is different versions of exercise that will actually get your body in shape. The first thing that I tell people is you can be or get in shape, but you have to find a method that's enjoyable to you. The problem is a lot of people try to engage in physical activity that one doesn't accommodate their personality and is something that they do not enjoy.
Okay.
So now, that's the first thing.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
You know, so the first thing is, you know, when we say workout, everybody automatically assumes let's go to the gym and let's lift weights. Well, I love lifting weights, but that's not the only way I work out. That's my thing. You know, when I work with my clients, one of the things that I try to do in the beginning is find out what their interests and like are, because a lot of times I have to modify workouts. There's some people we're going to hit the weights. There's some people I may do body exercises. Some people, my athletes, where we'll do more sports conditioning type movements. So it's basically finding physical activity that's going to allow your body to get in optimal shape that you enjoy and you can do on a regular basis. Getting in shape and working out should be a lifestyle. It should not feel like something you have to do or something you do not enjoy doing. I can go out and play tennis 3 times a week and get a great cardio workout in, and I don't have to step in the gym and get on the treadmill. You have to, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now, just to put a pin in that, don't lose your train of thought. The reason why I wanted to cut it right there, because you have a lot of people that do that. You have a lot of people that, okay, I have leg day, I have this day, and you know, I support that, and I, you know, thing there. But then, is it also part of the mental stability too? Because sometimes they're like, oh man, I missed leg day, and all of a sudden their whole vibe is thrown off. Is it something you're like you said, the mental part of it? Is it okay? I missed leg day today. Is it going to kill me, or do they need to? Every Wednesday is leg day. Every Thursday I'm doing cardio. Every this and that. What do you say to those people that, hey, do you say relax, chill? What's up?
Now I'm gonna tell you that that particular scenario you brought up for me usually falls into one or two categories. That's either the person that's the competitive athlete, where they're conditioned to training. Like for example, with bodybuilding, you know, we usually do 16-week training regimens to get ready for a show. Right. Well, we work out 5 days a week. So if we miss a segment, it throws off a whole training program. Understood. You know, an athlete, obviously they're conditioning towards a specific function. So when they fall off, yeah, it does throw off a program because they're working towards something. Then you have the other side, which I call the obsessive person, which a lot of people in the gym we see, you know, once, and I see it more with females than males, once they start to get in shape, they get obsessed and they don't have balance.
Those are who I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like if they're overdoing it. Like take for example, the situation we're in right now. A lot of people was freaking out because the gyms are closed. Now, and the reason you and I came up with this talk show right now where we're speaking is because I saw your video saying, you know, you can still do your thing. You can still do an intense workout. Like you said, you had the video on your Instagram about, hey, I could jump on my bike and I can do this. What do you, those are the people I'm asking about. They're like, oh, I'm obsessed. The gym is closed now. I can't do this workout.
Here's the thing you need to remember. Getting in shape and fitness is no different than anything we work for in life. Right. Whatever goal you're trying to accomplish in life, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have days where you're consistent with your workout, and you're going to have days when you fall off. When you fall off, that's not the end of all. Guess what you do? You take a break, you get up and you start over the next day. And to be honest with you, sometimes you have to take a break. Like usually with me, I'll work out 5 days, and then Saturday and Sunday is my recovery day. These last 2 days, my body was kind of not feeling it, you know, went a little hard last week. I've gotten to the point when I listen to my body. My body says it's time to take a break. Then I step off for a day or two, but I know how to get back into it. You know, the biggest thing I tell people is you have to, one, listen to your body. Your body will tell you when you're doing too much and when it's time to take a break. And the same thing what people don't understand, rest is a major part of you seeing results. Okay, here's the thing. For every time we work out, what we're doing is actually breaking down our muscle fibers. Well, how do we get those results to see that toned, sculpted look? One, with the nutrition that we put in after we work out, and two, the rest that we get. What people don't understand is your body doesn't change while you're in the gym or working out. Your body goes through the changes while you're sleeping and while you're resting. So that's basically where the repair phase takes place. Well, if I'm working out 7 days a week, my body doesn't have adequate time to go through the rest phase. And then now you start to see burnout and muscle breakdown instead of muscle results. Okay. So exercise is no different than anything else in life. The same way you cannot be exercising enough, you can be overdoing it. It's balance. Listen to your body, take a break.
Okay. Let's great advice, and that goes for both athletes, non-athletes, and the casual person. Like, me, I'm not working out like when we was on the track team and we're doing all that and stuff like that. But before we get any further, let me go back to the genetics questions. I have a friend of mine online now, and this is this question you see on the screen. She
Mhm.
says, how do you determine your genetic status and or what should it be like?
Okay. Well, basically, you can look at the frame of your family. Like for me, automatically, I come from a frame of large hip females. That's the genetics. Whether we short, tall, light skin, or dark, everybody has that large frame. And basically, it's within your weight size. Typically, what you're gonna find
Uh-oh. Wi-Fi issue. A Wi-Fi issue is a Wi-Fi issue. All right, people. She's gonna come back and answer the question. We're not gonna let this one go because this one is a hot topic right now. So what I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna keep it moving as we do all the time. You know, he's got to get a tune ready. So right now, until I get her back on the line, we're gonna do something like this. She'll be coming back to answer the questions right now. We just got to get everything situated.
Why raise the time of the Most High, ye sons of men? The rich man's wealth is in the city. Yeah.
Sorry, people, these things happen. You know how this thing goes. Been having all them issues lately, so I think the Wi-Fi is on her end, but don't worry about it. We're gonna get it back on. Johnny, she's gonna answer your question. Pedro, we're gonna answer your question next. I see yours is next, but we just gotta make sure we get this thing right. This is Baseline. This is Mix Up Radio. She's back on, but let's make sure everything's stable first, people. Put you.
I wanna rule my destiny. Whoa, whoa, destiny. Mama, look from when you call me. Destiny. Mama, look from when you call me. I wanna rule my destiny. Yeah. I please. I wanna rule my destiny.
Okay. So apparently we may have her back, but we just want to make sure. Again, people, we have Dr. Portia Miller of Virginia State University's Health and Physical Education Department. She's the assistant professor of that department, and we're talking about also with her brand, Complete Body Design LLC. We're gonna bring her back through right now. We want to go back to Johnny's question of how to determine your genetic status. All right, so Portia, I'm gonna bring you on now. Sorry about that, people.
That's fine. Basically, what we were talking about in reference to genetics, there's no specific testing. It's more or less looking at the alignment of how your family's structured. As I was saying earlier, all of the women in my family, if you were to look at their physiques, no one's petite frame. Everybody is very large structured, very wide hipped. So I know for a fact, one, I'm 5'8", two, very wide hipped. So basically, I already know my structure is basically what I would consider a large frame. Some people make the misconception when we say large structure and they think it's based on your weight. It's not really based on your weight. It's based on your skeletal structure. So when you see that person that's very skinny, petite, no matter how much they exercise, they can't really put on size. Basically, their skeletal structure frame is very petite. For me, I'm more of the larger frame. So even at my lowest body weight, you're going to still see the wideness of my hips. So you automatically know I'm a large structured female. So genetically, if you would look at all the family members that I have females, you would see that same structure. So I automatically know that, let's say I got down to about 10-15%, I'm going to look in great shape, but I'm going to be wide in the hips still, and I'm still going to be larger frame in my upper body, and I'm still going to look like a larger frame female, just a fit large frame female.
So okay, so basically then it's hereditary. It's nothing you can do. So
Yeah.
the thick girls them can't stop hating on the skinny girls because they're not gonna get there. You gonna
Here's
get
the here's the biggest thing that I tell people. I'm sorry not to cut you off in reference to genetics. I know for my family, we are large frame, but because of poor lifestyle and eating habits, a lot of the women in my family are overweight. So basically, the most that I can tell you is in reference to being from the larger frame structure, Your goal is to kind of eat more consistently and take care of your body so you'll be in the best version of the structure of your genetics in your family.
She said, thank you for that answer.
All right, no problem.
All right, next question we have is from Pedro. I didn't even know he was going to have questions today, but hey,
That's fine.
Everybody wants to know. So Pedro's question is to Dr. Portia Miller. He says, does fasting work? For someone who is overweight, should I try fasting?
Here's the thing you have to understand about fasting. There are several different types of fast, and most people fast for many different reasons. I do not agree with all of them because some of them eliminate some of the essential nutrients. Some of them incorporate entirely too much sugar, which is basically you're trading one for another. And when I do my fast, like matter of fact, I did one last week. I did a fruit and vegetable fast. I don't really do mine more so for weight loss. I do mine more for mental focus and just to clean out my body to start my new regimen, like to clean out all the pollutants and the toxins from my body before I get ready to start my new eating regimen. Now, when you do fasting, if you do it correctly and depending on which one, people have been said to lose a few pounds, 7 to 10 in a day. The more body fat you have, the more you will lose. But here's the problem with that. It's a short-term fix. As soon as you go back to eating your normal foods, most people gain that weight back because what you lost was not really body fat. What you lost was a lot of water weight, and that's the biggest thing where you'll hear people say, oh, I lost 10 to 15 pounds. I've been doing it for 2 weeks. But as soon as you go back to eating normal foods, you jump on the scale, you gain 3 to 4 pounds within a week. So the biggest thing you got to understand, which matter of fact, leading me to what I was talking about earlier, Kool-Aid, is the difference between fat loss and weight loss. Just because you doing one of these crazy diets out here and you get on the scale and you lost 20 to 30 pounds this month, a lot of that is actually water weight and it's a lot of your lean muscle tissue. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So on that note, though, how would someone know what they need to do? It goes to use it. Somebody's overweight. Do they need to lose the weight? Or do they need to lose just certain fats? Because like you said, some people let's take your build. I know your build personally. So it's like someone of your build, you don't need to lose the weight. How does a normal person know what the difference is?
All right, here's the first thing I tell people. Stop worrying about the numbers. Right now, I told you I'm in the process of getting back in shape and losing weight. Right now, the last time I weighed myself, I think I was 215, which was 3 months ago. I don't ride the scale. I just do my thing. That 215 pounds, the only thing that tells me is with body fat, with muscle, with bone structure, with water, that's how much I weigh as a whole. That doesn't tell me whether I'm in shape or out of shape. The goal is to do a body composition test and find out how much of that 215 pounds is actually body fat. And typically with a lot of women, they'll come in, well, I want to lose 50 pounds. Do you really have 50 pounds of fat to lose? So the last time when I started and I did my body composition test, I think I was about 27% or 28% body fat. So basically what that let me know was about 168 pounds of me was actually lean muscle. Then the remaining was body fat. So now I can sit and say, well, if I got 30 pounds of body fat, I can say, well, I need to lose 15 pounds of body fat. I'm not just grabbing random numbers that I want to see on the scale.
So they need to know their body fat first.
Yeah, they need to know the body composition. And typically when you go to a gym, you can go online. There's certain ways they'll teach you, but you can go into a gym and they usually are doing an assessment, on my website. And when I work with clients, I usually teach them how to do an assessment online. So basically what it is, take your weight. And once you do your assessment, you need to find out what your body composition is. That means how much of your total weight is lean muscle, how much of it is actually fat. And then when you set your goal, you focus on the percentage of fat. The number thing that you need to know, number one thing is nobody should ever aim for 0% body fat. We need body fat for hair, skin, nail growth, reproduction. But the thing is finding a healthy body fat for your percentage. Like for me at my age, typically anywhere between 15 to 22% is basically my goal. So I look at how much of my body fat is over that, and my goal is always to get within that range.
All right, because I think a lot of people had the thing of, oh, if I just stop eating for a week, I'll lose all the weight, but they're also losing their damn mind. That's what
Yeah.
you're
And see, if you think
Pedro
about it,
said, thank you guys. Thank you for the answer.
yeah.
All right, so that's what's up. That's what we're talking about. Again, people, let's also put this into perspective and say this. This is one doctor's opinion and experience on what she has done and how it has helped her and her people. Please always check with your own physician, your own doctor, your own personal trainer, and follow their regimen. You can incorporate this, but don't come back talking about some, oh, I heard Raga and Portia tell me to do this, because now we from Brooklyn and we will deny. We like, I don't even know what this was talking about. Portia, you already know. We be like, who? What?
I plead the fifth on that one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you taking the fifth. We're gonna take a break real quick, and then we're gonna come back. We're gonna shoot it up with Portia real quick before we end the show and get everything done. Portia, thank you for joining us. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break. I'm gonna let you rock out a little bit for some more reggae music. Mr. Buju Banton, please talk to the people then. This is mixupradio.com, and we are on with Dr. Portia Miller from Virginia State University, my alma mater. Buju.
What the world alone? Nowhere could it be? Must be somewhere for me. I put you back on it desperately. Bam, bam. I wanna be loved. Not for who you think I am, not what you want me to be. Could you love me?
Wow! BASSLINE International.
I wanna give you my heart.
This is none other than the big but mighty BASSLINE.
It's searching a long, long time for that so true love to comfort this heart of mine. No pretend, stop wasting my time. I've heard to us, woman, it's really hard.
This is mixupradio.com.
I'm only human.
BASSLINE International, it's Rocket Down the Mad Boy.
You ain't no woman.
Do you remember Saturday nights, the virtual party?
It's always near to
Next week,
show me you care. Oh,
we have my boy, my ex-roommate, Virginia State, coming in through once again. Mr. Rob Morgan.
I wanna be loved.
That's next Thursday, 7 o'clock, right here. Check it out. Tonight, we got on Miss Dr. Portia Miller, helping you build your immune system, teaching you how to exercise right, eat right, and for some of y'all, it might even help your love life.
In a love rhapsody, I'm like waiting on some honey, but you're ready to queen me. Everybody can laugh, so I say I'm silly, no infatuation.
This is the BASSLINE International Mix Up Radio.
My life like a string, I can't take it, I am oh so lonely inside, so I sing. Love me, not for who you think I am, not what you are.
This is BASSLINE. You're listening to Mix Up Radio.
I'll be here for sure.
Don't worry, Portia knows her tune too. She's Jamaican by association.
It's not an easy road. I'm in the city, come on the guitar, so they think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows? Ooh, Lord, help me sustain these blows. I cry, it's not an easy road. I'm in the city, come on the guitar, so they think I better rose. Me say, who feels it knows? Ooh, Lord, help me sustain. Why? From the minute of birth to enter this obstacle, that you way to overcome first. Throughout every day, they seem to get worse. Oh my God, cast away this curse.
Once again, my name is Mr. Raga Raga, and we're on with Dr. Portia Miller, Virginia State University. I'm going to keep saying that because guess what? That's where I went. I actually graduated because I'm going to tell y'all something. Portia ain't believe I was going to graduate. That was on her. Right? Hold on. Let me unmute you, sweetheart, because I know you got to come back. Dr. Portia Miller, Virginia State University. We're going to drop the doctor title for a second because we're going to wrap the show up real quick. First of all, thank you for coming on again. Thank you for and thank you for answering the questions. You opened my eyes as a former athlete and as somebody that knows a little something about nutrition, but you've opened my eyes to a lot of other stuff too. Because remember, as I said, I I also graduated from the department that you are a professor of. So, that helps me out. It also refreshes my mind. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people listening right now is appreciative of what you said. But we going to drop the doctor title because people, I want y'all to think that just because she's a doctor and she's all this and that, she from the hood.
What let's talk about?
Do I need to tell Quick Draw to jump on right now? Do I need to call Ron and the rest of Western House? Matter of fact, Blissette's listening right now.
Oh, I see. Hey, Blissette.
Yeah, Bliss is listening. Matter of fact, let me throw him up here right now, real quick. This is what he's saying. He's like my Western House family. You know, I'm watching. I think Bliss is down in Chesapeake right now.
Matter of fact, I spoke to him not too long ago.
Lord, you ain't even supposed to be contacting people. You don't like people. You don't even like people. People, what y'all don't understand about Portia, she's willing to help. She has a big heart, but she don't like people.
That's not true.
She used to feed me in Queens and be like, all right, hurry up for you gotta get home before it's dark. Cause I'm like, really? She don't like nobody around her for too long. But they're gonna wake me up at 6:30 in the morning.
See? I'm gonna leave that alone.
Let's do before we even jump out. I do have this. Janice jumped back on and she put this on. What is your opinion on this? Let me pop it up here. She says, I do fasting myself, but stop eating from 8 p.m. But mostly drinking water at least 5 bottles of water, and start eating breakfast around 10. So basically, she's fasting from 8 p to 10 a.m. And I have my healthy lunch if I feel hungry. But dinner, is that a healthy fasting? Just checking.
Okay, here's the thing. Like I said, with fasting, there are many different research protocols in regards to fasting. For a short term, depending on your benefits and why you're doing that. But the bottom line is you have to remember our body is designed to function off of all of the essential nutrients. So after a period of time, your body is going to rebound if you stay on it too long and actually start to require those other nutrients. So most people, when they do fasting, they do it for a short-term period or they do it for an intermittent period, meaning it's not, 3-4 weeks straight. There's usually some incorporation of regular foods in between, and it's just a short-term period. In that situation, it's not going to be a big issue, but if you're trying to do it for long-term, eventually your body will rebound and start to kick in, which we see with a lot of fad dieting. While some people will start and they'll go hard for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden they don't have the willpower anymore. And then they go back and convert to regular foods and they gain the weight right back. So the basic thing is making sure you're maintaining some balance with it, and you're kind of doing the intermittent thing where it's not continuous, that you're incorporating healthy foods in between it.
Now, what's intermittent? Meaning, because like if she's doing it every day and it's consistent, basically what you're saying really and truly is she should only do it every other day. What do you mean?
Usually when it depends on, like I said, what she's trying to accomplish. An example of an intermittent fasting would, let's say, Monday through Thursday, I'm eating just lean proteins and vegetables, and I'm doing a low carb ratio. But then on Thursday and Friday, I decide to do just fruits and vegetables. So for those 2 days, I'm going to eliminate certain foods and I'm going to fast for those 2 days. Okay, what that does is keep my body in a state of shock and keeps my body from plateauing in regards to seeing results. But then by day 3, I'll jump back into my healthy eating regimen.
Okay, so that's where you're saying your body will start to get confused. One minute you're doing this, next minute you're doing that.
And see, basically the same thing with exercise. What people don't understand is after a while, our bodies are designed naturally to adapt to whatever environment we basically put it in. So when you do the consistent workout for a period of time, in the beginning, you may see the numbers drop on the scale. And then after a few weeks, you're going to be like, well, Dad, I haven't lost anything. I'm kind of stagnant. The body has adapted, and typically what you want to do is kind of keep your muscles.
Oh, Porsche. Oh, right at the end. All right. Well, it happened again. I think it's a Wi-Fi situation. So this has been happening a lot with a lot of people. Thanks everybody on the Wi-Fi. We're going to put her email up right now. Her email right now. She'll jump back on before, we're going to close the show properly. If you would like to contact Ms. Dr. Portia Miller, it's a new you That's ANEWYOU at CompleteBodyDesign.com. Again, for those of you on Mix Up Radio and not on the Facebook Live, it's a new you. That's N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, WYOU. And that is what we call at CompleteBodyDesign.com. That is her website. That is how you could contact her for a little bit more information. I'm going to bring her back in right now. We're having Wi-Fi issues. It's all good, people. That's how this thing works. You know how it works. But that's what we're going to do right now. And I will bring her back in to finish her thought. Sorry, Portia. You know how this
That's fine. That's fine.
Hey, I'm gonna blame you. That's your Wi-Fi. Mine's good.
No, we're not gonna go there.
What happens when you trying to steal the neighbor's Wi-Fi, Portia? This
That's
ain't
Brooklyn Wi-Fi right there.
So I have I would like you to. I don't know if you remember where you finished off. I know we got frozen right there. You were talking about the consistency of how your body will react if you.
Yeah, it's basically, like I said, with any routine that your body gets used to, you're going to hit a plateau. Okay. And especially once you start losing the majority of your fat, your body fat, when we talk about either exercising or even with your diet. And typically, like going back to the intermittent fasting, let's say if I was eating a clean regimen, and let's say I've been on my routine for about 10 weeks, and I've lost some significant body fat, but now I'm getting to that point where I'm kind of getting stagnant and I'm not getting any more results. I may switch over to a fasting for about 2 or 3 days just to throw my body in a total state of shock. Oh, okay. And just to get the results going again, and then come back to my normal eating regimen. Just like, some people now, the new thing is the carb cycling. Well, one day we're doing high carbs, the next day we're doing a medium percentage of carbs, then the next day we're doing low. So basically what you're trying to do is keep the body in a state of shock, never really allowing it to adapt to any one specific regimen to kind of keep your.
Ooh. Well, basically what she's telling us is a Wi-Fi issue. It's this the radio. This is radio. This is mixupradio.com. She's jumped back in. Basically what she's telling you right now, stop doing this stupidness. Okay? Stop doing the stupidness. If you're gonna do something, be consistent with it, but be smart with it. Use your brain. Use whatever power that muscle inside the skull, or what is it? It is an organ, whatever it is inside your skull. Because a lot of you guys are jumping on these diets. Yo, last week you was keto. This week you was what's the other Atkins? Then he was this. You was that. And it throws you off. And now me, I ain't no nutrition expert, but as I said, I used to play baseball, I used to run track, Quick Joe. We all still have our mentality. That's how I fed my children. That's how I raised them. So, like, hey, nutrition is this. Still have your candy, but they gotta be able to. It's got to be, like you said, a balance. Correct?
Yeah. And here's what I tell people. I tell my people that I work with. I live by what I call the 80-20 rule. Mm-hmm. Unless I'm doing some form of competition, everything in life is balanced, even eating.
Right.
80% of the week, I'm eating clean, I'm eating healthy. Typically on the weekend, I'll say Friday night, maybe Saturday. That's my day to do what I want to do in reference to eating. But when I go out to eat what I want, I do it in balance. I don't overeat and I don't indulge. I just eat enough to satisfy whatever taste that I have. And typically back on Sunday, I'm back to my normal healthy meals. And it's easier to maintain that way. The problem is everybody wants these quick, fast results. And if you look at most research, it shows that with all the diets that have come over the last few decades, at least 97% of the people that lost weight typically gain the weight back. If you ask most people how many diets they've been on, they'll tell you at least between 3 to 5 diets in their lifetime.
Wow. Well, people, as I said, thank you, Dr. Portia Miller. But thank you, Big Sis. We've been fighting since what? Freshman year, sophomore year, high school. Yeah, this is a person that used to irritate me 6 o'clock in the morning to make sure I was on that 7 o'clock train, A train at Utica Avenue. If I ain't at that train station, she getting off the train and my mother whooping my butt, and she would throw me under the bus. But that was my homegirl. We kept each other in line. With the situation going on now, Portia, real quick before we let you go, how is it balancing everything? The professor, doing your own business, and being a mom?
You know what? It was a challenge in the beginning, but it's like anything else, finding your rhythm. Like for me, how do I keep my fitness in? I'm the AM person. I'm usually up at 4 o'clock every morning.
Nah, good.
So
You good. I'm going to bed at that.
so my routine is I actually get my workout in and my nutrition. I'll do about 45 minutes of my indoor workout. I'll go outside and ride my bike for about 30 minutes. And then usually by the time the kids get up, I'm finishing breakfast. I've taken a bath. So my workout time from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is all about me. After that, then we move into the kids' regimen, get their schoolwork done, get them fed, let them get outside, get their exercise in, and basically just move forward from there. It's all about balance. You know, the biggest thing I'll say to mothers, you can have it all, but it's about balance. And the biggest thing that I tell women, we invest 100% into everybody else, our kids, our men. You got to start investing some time in yourself and not make excuses about taking care of you.
And the funny thing is, I say that a lot in just when I'm saying it on the radio. And you know me, I'm always saying some craziness on air. But I always say that to people. I say, you can't love
Oh my
nobody if you're not
God, this
loving
is
yourself.
crazy.
What's up? You're still up if you see me. Okay. She'll be back. We're gonna close the show properly. You know how we do. We're not gonna have this. This is Baseline International right now. You know what I'm saying? This is Portia Miller, Dr. Portia Miller. She coming up. We're gonna close the show out properly. We want to wait for her to come back in one more time. Once again, I do apologize for all the technical difficulties tonight, but you know everybody on the internet, so it's going on. Mine right now is kind of stable, so we're gonna wait for her to jump back in. We're gonna close this out properly. But this is the Baseline International. Let me give you my true one before we let go. I'm gonna give you one more song before she comes back in, and we're gonna close it out real quick and say goodbye before we have any more issues.
So, I see them lying there wait. Standing at the gate. But yeah, I want my hand and I sing. You sing now. Lord. Murderer, blood is on your shoulder. Kill I today, you cannot kill I tomorrow. Murder, your inside must say hello. Oh, does it feel to take the
This is Mix Up Radio. This is Baseline International.
blood upon your shoulder. Kill me today, you cannot kill I tomorrow. Murder, your inside must say hello. Oh, does it feel to take a life? You can hide from man, but not your conscience. Who know you be brothers out road with the wine of violence. Allow yourself to be conquered by the serpent. Why you disobey the first commandment? Walk through the valley, I fear no pestilence. That is my weakness, and him and me evidence. Lift up my eyes from whence cometh death.
This is Baseline.
Never escape this your judgment. Murderer, blood by your shoulder. Kill I today, you cannot kill I.
Yeah, I feel this tune. Need a big up right
See
now.
them lying there wait.
Shout out to Miss Ahmad,
Standing at the gate.
Aubrey,
But yeah, I want my
everybody at the hands of police brutality right now. Here we tell them.
Murderer, blood is on your shoulder. Kill I today, you cannot kill I tomorrow.
Okay.
I must say hello. Oh, does it feel to take the life of another?
I'm gonna bring it back in before we're gonna close the show properly, but give me a second.
Kill me today, you cannot kill I tomorrow. Murder, your inside must say hello. Oh, does it feel to take a life? You can hide from man, but not your conscience. Who know you be brothers around with the wine of violence. And know yourself to be conquered by the serpent. Why you disobey the first commandment? Walk through the valley, I fear no pestilence. That is my weakness, and him and me evidence. Lift up my eyes from whence cometh death. Them could have never
All right, Doc. It looks like we're having technical
I
difficulties.
got you. I got you. I see.
What we gonna do? We just gonna close it out. I was gonna mess with you a little bit right there. But Doc, Porsche, thank you. I love you like cooked food. You know that already. You know how we do. You're one of the places I can go down to Virginia right now, not worry about a hotel room because you always got a room for me, Quick Draw, and all of us. You know, we all family. Same when you come up here.
I'm charging now. Hold up. Let me stop.
Wow, we got you. You know that old Brooklyn saying, "We got you."
I got you.
Got you. But thank you, sister, for coming on. Thanks for dealing with the technical difficulty. Thanks for hanging in there. I think a lot of people got a lot of info from you, and I love you for that. And we're gonna talk off air right now. We're gonna end the show right now. And anything you want to say before we go?
Basically, the biggest thing that I'll just say is in this time frame, remember, you can work out. You don't really need an expensive gym, but the biggest thing is learn to take care of your body. It's bigger than just looking good. It's about having longevity. The biggest thing for me now, fitness is being able to be physically active with my children, to actually have a life. It's bigger than just, getting into a nice pair of jeans. It's about having quality of life, being able to be functioning, not being tired all day, just feeling good about existing, regardless of if you're 30, 40, 50, or 60. There's women today, 70, 80 years old, still getting it in and looking great.
Liz, thank you, sis.
I got you. I got
harassing me. You hear that, Liz? We got to start walking.
Don't let my brother get on your nerves. Please don't.
Janice from all the way to Ohio. She also Virginia State. Shout out, Janice. Big up yourself. Very informative session. Thank you. All right, Portia, thank you. We're going to let you go because I know right now people, y'all understand it's past her bedtime at 6 o'clock. Portia would have started yawning. But
that's because I got to get up at 4 a.m.
Baby girl, I love you and thank you so much for coming on. Once again, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next time, sweetheart. I'll call you when we're done.
Take care.
All right, baby. Love you.
Bye-bye. Love you too.
Once again, people, that was Portia Miller, Dr. Portia Miller, Virginia State University. Thanks for hanging in there with that. Thanks to everybody that done on the check-in. Big respect. This is mixupradio.com. This is what we do. Look out for the virtual party this Saturday night inside of your own living room and right there on your laptop. This is the Bassline Sound. It's New Generation Family and us. I'll pick it up on the Bassline International page. You'll see it. You'll hear about it. If you don't know about it, you've been missing out. All right. Also, next week, we got Mr. Just Mercy, Mr. Marvel series himself, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. We also got the star of the new streaming movie called Bull, Mr. Rob Morgan, also Virginia State University. We large up in here. Y'all don't understand. Matter of fact, if you can see me, look, the shirt right there, Virginia State product, a per year haul. It don't even stand no more. You know what I mean? So big up yourself. Quick Jaw, large up the whole Bassline family. Everybody on the check-in from Toronto to Jamaica, from San Francisco to China. Large up on itself, man. Big up y'all. Once again, Mr. Bassline International. Thank you for checking in. Thank you to Dr. Portia Miller for hanging in there with us. Would you take us out?
Somebody please tell me no. Oh, Master God, world around you. Put the war back and praise God. Yeah, me son, tell me no. Oh, Papa Jesus. That's world around. If we come together, our Father.
Let's go.
There was a beginning, so there must be again. Let us build a better day for our grandchildren. And looking our way out and see where we can mend, where food is concerned. Here is a problem. Woman can't find food. Feed the children while the rich man.
Out to the voice of the one, Mr. Gargamel. Let them say,
right against poor people shall perish in the end. Tell me no. Oh, Master God, world around you. Oh, the war back and praise God, yeah, me son, we want to know. Oh, Papa Jesus, world around. If we come together, now the Father soon come. To the poor can't afford the knowledge, them not get no. The rich man have the dollars, I don't argue with some braggadocio, some bullshit talk. Him a fling down a pier 190 events.
You remember next week, Thursday, Mr. Rob Morgan, right here, Mix Up Radio.
So them give we all type of things we try to.
And following behind that.
Boogie woogie and have all the fun. Them alone feel have the girls, them how we love me have not tell me no. Oh, Master God, world around you. Put the war back and praise God, yeah, me son.
We got Miss Tangi Massey, award winning.
My Father soon come. All of them a say for no ear, but you know we not. Deal with the bowing.
The award winning fashion designer, Miss Tangi Massey up here. You see me wearing her mask. You caught our fashion shows or any fashion runway. Trust and believe she's a part of it. Virginia State only produce stars. Look at Bassline.
Oh, Papa Jesus, world around. If we come together, our Father soon come. Have a look in your eyes. Make my decision.
Let's go to the voice of the one, Mr. Sanchez. Talk.
All right. Just listen, baby.
We taking you out like this. Ladies.
Something's wrong. Oh, I can tell. Is it that someone new came along and broke the spell? There's a doubt that I can share. Emptiness in your kiss, I'm finding hard to take. If you hadn't second thought,
this is the voice of.
If you think we should let go,
Virginia State only produced stars. Shout out to Rob Morgan. Shout out to Portia Miller. Y'all know how we do. We can pick up all the stars we want, but we have to create our own. Let's go.
Got to know, baby. Tell me how you feel. Are you still in love with me? Like the way we used to be. Or did it all fade away? And the hurt I feel is here to stay. Are you still in love with me?
Don't forget the virtual party.
Like the way we used to be. Or did it all tumble down? The hurt I feel.
That's the voice of the late great Alton Black.
I can see it, baby.
This is mixupradio.com. Let's go.
I can see it, baby.
Do remember the virtual party Saturday.
I see the clock up on the wall.
Shout out to all Tauruses. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to all the Geminis.
BASSLINE International.
It's a bit that changing.
This is none other than the big but mighty bassline.
Everything is going so much faster.
Sarada, I see you, baby girl.
Watching my life and everything I do.
Let's go.
Wondering if the dream that
Saturday night, the virtual party
can still come through. Caught in between, it comes back to
wow.
Baby, you and me running out of time. Gotta find me a better understanding.
Let's move.
Every day keep forgetting what's mine. Gotta find me a way to bless the mandate.
This is.
And we're holding on so tight together.
Now we are some brethren John. Now we are some brethren John. Yo, BASSLINE International. We still alive. Straight. A long time we sit down and I chuck it.
Check it.
I walk with things in our pocket.
Check it.
This a one of books we have to rock it.
Check it.
Come in a tie and jacket. Come make we link up. This are the root why link up. We are go link up.
Underwater.
And nice up the land.
When the lion roars, jungle trembles. I know, jungle trembles. Yeah. Everyone is gonna love this. You'll never forget this. The lion heart giving you niceness, and I guarantee you happiness. Yeah. Everyone is gonna love this. True. You'll never forget this. The lion heart giving you niceness, and I guarantee you happiness. Sharon, oh, she just loved this song so much. Action, woman. I see your body's more than cool. You control the art.
Yo, BASSLINE International. We still alive. Straight.
That's why you girls. You can reach my railway. You can reach my railway. On an airplane, you can reach me with your mind. You can reach me by caravan. Cross the desert like an aeroplane. I don't care how you get here. Get there if you can. Action! Goody, that's why me ball miss. Goody, woman you in a class. Goody, pan up in your feet take off. Goody, plain let you me a baby you fi walk. Goody, woman you in a class. Goody, pan up in your feet take. Not true, up front appearance, spine teeth and goody. You want fi test you can you in a goody. Just make them go and chat, y'all. And them go and goody. I win that in a the teeth.
Like a frequency pull on the pole.
This is another time. Big bad mighty bassline. Motherfucker, you should know.
This is DJ.
I said la 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 la, welcome the outlaw. La, welcome the outlaw. La, welcome the outlaw. My bad gun off from over Colorado. Wipe on the warpath, lad, me come and look for me. And me big dirty 14 in a holster. If a boy this the program, it a pick up couple of stuff. Feel with the girl, murder the pussy, them now. Feel with the girl, murder the pussy, them now. It's a end down, it head and it a flex like a soul. Say what's a boy a born, it a go like it a fall. From a boy a in a farm, you know a boy bow. From a boy a back, you know a boy bow. Feel with the girl, and the boy them I know I said la 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 la. Welcome the outlaw, la, welcome the outlaw. Because me is an outlaw from down at Texas. Me have two boy fish shot and me say over Kianas.
BASSLINE International.
You are listening to BASSLINE International, the girl sound system, doing it.
Well, man, this is rock. Up to the time, BASSLINE.